Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky have been separated for years. Their marriage is supposedly over. Mauricio has been seen with other women. Kyle has openly admitted that their relationship is no longer what it used to be. So why hasn't either one of them filed for divorce? That's the question that is driving Hollywood absolutely crazy. Because the more people look at this story, the less sense it makes. Think about it. If the marriage is over, the divorce should already be finished. But somehow, after all the headlines, all the interviews, all the public drama, and all the rumors, not a single final step has been taken. And according to people close to the situation, the reason may be far bigger than anyone expected. Because this isn't just a story about a broken marriage anymore. It's a story about power. It's a story about control. And it's a story about a secret that could completely change the way people see Kyle and Mauricio forever. What started as a celebrity breakup has quietly turned into one of the most confusing mysteries in Beverly Hills. And when we uncovered the detail that nobody was paying attention to, everything suddenly started to make sense. The real question is not why they separated. The real question is why they still haven't divorced. And the answer may be more shocking than anyone imagined. To understand why the story has become one of the biggest mysteries in Beverly Hills, we need to go back to the beginning. For years, Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky were considered one of reality television's strongest couples. While celebrity marriages were collapsing left and right, they seemed untouchable. Fans watched them build a family, build businesses, and create an image that looked almost impossible to break. On television, everything appeared perfect. The luxury homes, the family vacations, the glamorous lifestyle, the picture-perfect marriage. For nearly 3 decades, they sold the world a story of stability in a world full of chaos. But looking back now, many fans believe the warning signs were there all along. Small moments that seemed harmless at the time suddenly started taking on a completely different meaning. Awkward interactions, strange silences, uncomfortable interviews, and a growing feeling that something wasn't quite right behind the scenes. Then the rumors started. At first, nobody paid much attention. Celebrity gossip comes and goes every day, but this time felt different. The whispers refused to disappear. Instead, they grew louder. Month after month, fans began questioning whether the marriage everyone admired was actually falling apart behind closed doors. Eventually, the speculation became impossible to ignore. Reports surfaced suggesting that Kyle and Mauricio were living increasingly separate lives. Suddenly, the fairy tale image that had survived for decades appeared to be cracking. Fans expected the next chapter to be obvious. A public announcement, a legal filing, a divorce. But that's not what happened. Instead, something far stranger unfolded. The marriage appeared to be over, yet the divorce never came. Years passed. The headlines kept coming. The rumors intensified. And somehow the situation became even more confusing. Every interview seemed to raise new questions instead of providing answers. Every public appearance sparked fresh speculation. Every social media post sent fans into detective mode. The more people looked at the situation, the less sense it made. Because if two people have truly moved on, why remain trapped in this strange gray area for so long? Why continue living separate lives while refusing to officially end the marriage? And most importantly, what is so important that neither side seems willing to make the final move? Those questions have fueled countless theories across Hollywood. But according to growing speculation, the answer may have nothing to do with love, heartbreak, or reconciliation. Because what we're about to uncover suggests that this story isn't just about a marriage. It's about something much bigger. And that's where things start to get really interesting. For a long time, fans assumed the delay was purely emotional. Maybe Kyle wasn't ready to let go. Maybe Mauricio was holding on to the past. Maybe after nearly 3 decades together, ending the marriage was simply harder than anyone realized. At least that's what the public was told. But the more people looked at the situation, the less that explanation seemed to make sense. Think about it. The separation became public years ago. Both appeared to move forward with their lives. The headlines never stopped. The rumors kept growing. Yet somehow, the divorce never happened. And that's where the real mystery begins. Because once fans stopped focusing on the relationship itself and started paying attention to the timeline, a completely different story started to emerge. The marriage appeared over. The public knew it. Hollywood knew it. Even the media treated it as a finished chapter. Yet no final legal step was ever taken. That alone was enough to spark speculation. But then things became even stranger. Despite living separate lives, Kyle and Mauricio continued maintaining an unusually close public connection. Family gatherings continued. Public interactions remained surprisingly friendly. Major events came and went without the kind of explosive conflict people usually expect from a high-profile breakup. To many observers, it felt less like a divorce and more like a carefully managed situation. And that's when the theory started. Some believed there was still hope for reconciliation. Others argued that something much bigger was happening behind closed doors. Then social media detectives started digging. Old interviews resurfaced. Podcast appearances were analyzed frame by frame. Comments from friends and family suddenly took on new meaning. The deeper fans looked, the more questions they found. Because every clue seemed to point toward the same conclusion. Something wasn't adding up. If two people were truly ready to move on, why remain stuck in this strange gray area year after year? What was causing the delay? What was so important that neither side seemed willing to make the final move? Those questions quickly turned into one of the biggest debates in the Real Housewives community. And then an unexpected theory changed everything. Some fans began suggesting that the situation wasn't being delayed because of emotions. It was being delayed because of strategy. Suddenly, the conversation shifted. People stopped talking about love. They stopped talking about heartbreak. Instead, they started talking about leverage, control, timing, and the possibility that there was far more at stake than the public realized. The theory spread rapidly. Entertainment blogs picked it up. Reaction channels discussed it. Comment sections exploded with speculation. And the more people talked about it, the bigger the controversy became. Then came another strange detail. Every time public interest seemed ready to fade, a new headline appeared, a new interview, a new rumor, a new discussion, a new wave of questions. The story refused to die. In fact, it seemed to become stronger with every passing month. What started as a celebrity separation was now turning into something much bigger. Because the mystery wasn't disappearing, it was growing. And just when fans thought they had figured out what was happening, a new wave of rumors began circulating through Hollywood. Rumors that suggested the real reason Kyle and Mauricio still weren't divorced had nothing to do with what the public had been focusing on all along. And if those rumors were true, then everything people thought they knew about this separation was about to change. The situation was already confusing, but then the story took a turn that nobody saw coming. For months, fans had been asking the same question. Why weren't Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky getting divorced? At first, the answers seemed simple. They needed time. They were focusing on family. They wanted to avoid unnecessary drama. But according to growing speculation across social media, those explanations were starting to fall apart. Because the longer people watched this situation unfold, the harder it became to ignore one uncomfortable reality. Nothing about this separation was normal. Every time it looked like the story was finally coming to an end, something happened that pushed it right back into the headlines. A new interview, a new rumor, a new public appearance, a new wave of questions. It was almost as if the mystery itself had become impossible to escape. Then came the reveal that completely changed the conversation. Fans stopped asking whether Kyle and Mauricio still loved each other. Instead, they started asking something far more controversial. What if this was never about love at all? Suddenly, online discussions exploded with theories suggesting that there could be powerful reasons for keeping the situation unresolved. Some believed both sides were carefully protecting their public image. Others argued that neither side wanted to risk a messy public battle that could damage everything they had spent years building. And once that theory gained traction, the entire narrative shifted overnight. The focus was no longer on a broken marriage. The focus was on what both sides potentially stood to lose. That single idea triggered a massive reaction online. Comment sections filled with speculation. Fan accounts started connecting old statements with recent developments. Reaction channels began calling the situation one of the strangest celebrity separations in recent memory. Then another surprising detail emerged. Despite years of separation rumors, neither side appeared eager to force a final resolution. To many observers, That made no sense. If the relationship was truly over, why continue delaying the inevitable? Why stay trapped in a situation that seemed to satisfy nobody? The more people searched for answers, the more mysterious the story became. And that's exactly when the biggest shock arrived. According to new rumors circulating through entertainment circles, there may be another factor influencing everything behind the scenes. A factor that has remained hidden from public view. A factor that could completely change how fans interpret every interview, every headline, and every public appearance from the last 3 years. And if those rumors turn out to be true, then Kyle and Mauricio's story may be far more complicated than anyone ever imagined. Public reaction was immediate. The moment these theories started spreading, social media exploded. What had once been a simple celebrity separation suddenly became one of the most debated topics in reality television. Fans quickly divided into two camps. One side believed Kyle and Mauricio were simply taking their time. After nearly 3 decades together, they argued that a complicated relationship deserved a complicated ending. But the other side wasn't buying it. Not anymore. Across X, Reddit, Instagram, and entertainment forums, thousands of fans started questioning the official narrative. Many pointed to the same issue. If the marriage is truly over, why is everything still unresolved years later? The debate became so intense that every new interview immediately turned into headline news. The smallest comment, the smallest gesture, even a simple family photograph was enough to trigger thousands of reactions online. Then things escalated even further. Several celebrity gossip channels began discussing the situation almost daily. Reaction videos started generating hundreds of thousands of views. Fan theories became more detailed. And before long, people were analyzing every public appearance like it was part of a larger puzzle. The entertainment industry noticed the growing attention as well. Media outlets continued covering every development. Podcast hosts repeatedly brought up the mystery. Reality TV commentators openly admitted that the situation had become one of the most unusual celebrity stories in recent memory. Even some public figures appeared to weigh in indirectly. Cryptic comments, subtle references, vague observations about celebrity relationships and public image. Every statement added fuel to the fire. But perhaps the most surprising development was how dramatically public opinion began to shift. In the beginning, most people sympathized with Kyle. Then some started supporting Mauricio. Eventually, a growing number of fans became skeptical of the entire situation. They began wondering whether the public was seeing the complete picture, or only the version that was being presented to them. That question alone created a new wave of controversy. Suddenly, the discussion wasn't just about a marriage anymore. It was about trust, authenticity, and whether Hollywood's most famous couples ever tell the full story. As the debate intensified, pressure continued building from every direction. Fans wanted answers. Media outlets wanted answers. Industry insiders wanted answers. Yet the mystery remained unsolved. And just when it seemed impossible for the story to become any more controversial, a new development began quietly emerging behind the scenes. A development that threatened to change everything once again. Because according to the latest rumors, the biggest revelation of this entire saga had not happened yet. In fact, it might be closer than anyone realized. The deeper the story goes, the stranger it becomes. For years, fans have focused on one question. Why haven't Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky divorced? But according to the latest wave of speculation, that may be the wrong question entirely. Because the real question might be this: what are they waiting for? Think about everything that's happened so far. The separation became public. The rumors spread worldwide. The headlines never stopped. Yet somehow, the final step was never taken. And now, according to growing chatter inside entertainment circles, there may finally be a reason why. Several fan communities have pointed to what they believe is a major shift happening behind the scenes. A shift that could explain why both sides have remained locked in this unusual gray area for so long. What's especially interesting is the timing. Recently, both Kyle and Mauricio have appeared more careful than ever when discussing the future. Their language has changed. Their public appearances feel different. Even longtime followers have noticed that something seems to be happening behind closed doors. Something important. Something neither side is ready to talk about publicly. And that's where the biggest theory of all begins. Some observers believe that a major decision has already been made, not publicly, not officially, but privately. If that theory is true, then the public may be watching the final chapter play out in real time without even realizing it. Suddenly, every interview feels more significant. Every social media post feels more calculated. Every public appearance raises new questions. Because if a major announcement is truly approaching, it would explain why so many pieces of this puzzle suddenly seem to be moving at once. Of course, nobody outside their inner circle knows exactly what's happening. And that's what makes this story so fascinating. The mystery remains unsolved. The questions remain unanswered, and the speculation continues to grow. But one thing is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. This situation cannot remain in limbo forever. Sooner or later, something has to happen. A decision, an announcement, a revelation. Something that finally explains why one of reality television's most talked about couples has remained trapped between marriage and divorce for so long. And if the rumors circulating right now are even partially true, then the answer could arrive much sooner than anyone expects. Because behind the scenes, the pressure is building. The questions are getting louder. The public wants answers. And whatever happens next could completely change the story we've been following for years. The only question now is whether the truth will finally come out, or whether this mystery is hiding one last secret that nobody has discovered yet. If you've made it this far, then you can probably see why this story has captured so much attention. What started as a celebrity separation has turned into one of the biggest unanswered questions in reality television. And the truth is, nobody outside Kyle and Mauricio's inner circle knows exactly what's happening behind closed doors. But that's what makes this story so fascinating. Every new interview creates more questions. Every new appearance sparks more speculation. And every new rumor seems to add another layer to an already complicated mystery. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think is really going on? Do you believe Kyle and Mauricio are simply taking their time before making a final decision? Or do you think there is a much bigger reason why this divorce still hasn't happened after all these years? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't hold back. I want to know which theory you believe makes the most sense. Because right now, fans seem more divided than ever. Some believe this is just a complicated personal situation. Others are convinced there is far more happening behind the scenes than the public knows. So where do you stand? Also, if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into the biggest celebrity mysteries, scandals, and Hollywood stories making headlines, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue bringing you the latest updates, the biggest theories, and the stories everyone is talking about. And trust me, this story is far from over. If new information emerges, if new interviews raise more questions, or if a major announcement finally happens, we'll be covering every development right here on the channel. So turn on your notifications, stay tuned, and keep your eyes on this story. Because if the last few years have taught us anything, it's that with Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky, the next twist could be just around the corner. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.